Well, good morning, everybody. It's November 22nd, 2024. Reading the comments to you from beautiful Quartzsite, Arizona. It is 6:37 a.m. It's still pretty dark out there. There's no sun yet at 6:30. And I got to tell you, it continues to be temperature-wise very different from weather.com and the temperature reading in Quartzsite versus, about, 3 miles out here in the desert. Because the low was supposed to be in the 40s, and I'm looking up at my temperature gauge. It's 35 degrees out there. 35. Burr. And it's only November. Usually you get these real low temperatures in December, January, maybe beginning of February, but November, whoo, it's going to be a cold one this year, maybe. Who knows? But anyway, the outlook for the week today is going to be under sunny skies, and it's going to get all the way up to 77 degrees. And with a low of 48, which means a low of probably 40. So the highs are pretty accurate. The lows, not so much. So when I give you the low temperature forecast, you're going to take a few degrees off that. But the good news is the lows starting tomorrow on Saturday, it shows 54. So I'll read you the next few days for the highs and lows, starting with tomorrow, Saturday, and the condition. So Saturday, 79 and 54, sunny skies. Sunday, partly cloudy, 72 and 52, partly cloudy Monday. 75, 54, partly cloudy Tuesday, 77, 57, Wednesday, 73, 49, partly cloudy. We got partly cloudy all week next week, all the way for the next 7 days. And Friday, it's got like the cloud cover in half. So that's serious cloud, half cloudy day. The other ones have a little cloud in the corner. So probably that means scattered clouds. We'll see what that means. But by Friday, we're looking at a high of 69 and a low of 48, which means that probably 69 is good, and it won't be 48, it'll be 40. Okay, there you go for the weather, and let's read the comments. And the long form video yesterday with Jeep Adventure with old friends. My old friend Daryl bought a Jeep. He bought a Rubicon, beautiful Jeep. So Daryl and I and my Canadian friend Jim and his new wife V. And by the way, V, if she looks familiar to you, she does all the line dancing classes in Quartzsite at the QIA. And you can Google the QIA and it'll give you her schedule. I do know this: if you're a beginner, no matter how much experience you have dancing, show up at 10 a.m. on Wednesdays for the beginner class. And V shared with me, she's been doing this for over 20 years in Quartzsite. She's an excellent teacher, but she says her favorite thing is to teach newbies. And if don't worry if you can't move well. I can't move well. I'm going to go probably next Wednesday for my first one, and I think I'll do a little video on it. But I don't move real well. I've got hip arthritis. And she said, Jim was telling me they come in walkers. So come on in. Have fun. You get to meet people. It's a great way to meet people, and you get a little bit of exercise. You move around a little bit and you have fun, and come to the beginner class. I know, I've been to places where they try doing line dances and you get up there and you try to keep up and everyone seems to know the steps except for you, and you feel awkward and silly. Well, that's not going to be the case at the QIA. In QIA, that stands for Quartzsite Improvement Association, and that's a mecca of activity in Quartzsite and right in Quartzsite. And it's not just line dancing; it's a huge building with a restaurant in it. And when peak season gets going, there are vendors all over the parking lot, and the whole inside is full of vendors too. And it's artists and all kinds of things. It's just a ton of fun. Anyway, that's V. She's wonderful. So Karen Hengeveld says good morning on the Jeep Adventure. And the Wandering Pinto on the Jeep Adventure says, this is one thing I'd like to do in Quartzsite. Take our Bronco out in the desert exploring, but we are traveling by ourselves It would be nice to go out with someone who knows the area. Well, there are lots of people in town that know the areas. There's wall-to-wall side-by-sides. I'm not a guy that knows the area. I've been out there once, and I was not paying attention to where we were going. I was paying attention to where we were, if you know the difference. But there's clubs. If you go to that line dancing class, you're going to meet people that know where to go. And you just be a little outgoing, talk to people, and you are going to meet people that will lead you out there. And when we went out there, we ran into plenty of other people. It's not scary that you're going to get lost, especially if you use there's an app out there. I forgot what it was called, but I mentioned it. I think in the video, I mentioned what the app is that Daryl was using, and where we went, I had AT&T cell phone signal the entire time. I think there was one little bit of stretch where I only had one bar, but otherwise I had plenty of signal. And Daryl had signal the whole time because he was using that map. He was using cell signal for that map. Okay, Jen BX on the comments video. Ugh, I cannot tolerate rudeness. I listened to you while I'm prepping my workload. And I thought she was going to tell me I was rude here. When I started reading the comment, I'm like, uh-oh. And I realized these are your experience or interest, not a specialist advice. That's actually why I like your vlog. My grandma used to say, you can't say something nice. Don't. Didn't everyone hear that? Let's see. It says read more. Didn't everyone hear that while growing up? SMH. I no longer have to Google what SMH means. I figure that I finally gotten through to that it means shaking my head. That's what SMH means. Weren't there SMH stamps? Weren't those green stamps? Weren't those SMH? I think they were. Hugs to Dottie. Thanks, Jen. And she's, they're, I'll talk about how I heat my trailer and all the experience I had, and people will be wagging their finger at me, telling me I'm doing it wrong. And it's like, this isn't an advice channel. I'm not telling you how to do it. I'm explaining how I did it. That's all I'm doing. And if you do it a different way, great. And some people have really, and there's some here, shared some really valuable information on how they do it. And you may want to do it the way they do it instead of me, because everybody's different, right? Everybody has different circumstances, different sensibilities, and different knowledge. Everybody. It's what makes America great, our differences. Infinite diversity and infinite combination. Now, that's not American, that's Vulcan. Ken Gray on the revenge video. The revenge video. It doesn't sound like my channel does it? But it is. It was the positive news video from yesterday where I found a story about a company that wrote an artificial intelligence program that creates a real grandmother that the program sets itself up to get phone calls from scammers. The scammers that try to fool elderly people into giving up their banking information, saying your grandson's in prison in Mexico, or you need to give me money to fix your PC, or all those crazy things. Well, this AI voice is really convincing you're talking to a real person. It's very interactive. So she apparently goes on in these tangents about her family and her grandchildren and stuff. And, and of course the scammer tries to get them back around to the subject so he can get that valuable information. And after about 40 minutes, she finally gives up her, her full name, date of birth, social security number, credit card numbers, and checking account numbers. After 40 minutes. And it's all fake. Then they actually turn over the tape, the recording and everything to local authorities. It's great. Ken Gray says, and Ken Gray says, I absolutely love that. And then Ken on the Jeep Adventure says, a lovely trip. The rubber ducks are given between Jeep owners. Some think it's a waste of time, and other people think it's a good way to show solidarity for the lifestyle. There's a little stone cabin out in the middle of nowhere that people were leaving rubber ducks at, and Jeep people do that. We were in a Jeep, and when we were there were about 10 Jeeps parked there. They were all in a group. So that's what Jeepers do. Remember that song? Jeepers Creepers, Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get those eyes? Did I get those words right? Buck Jones on heating my RV. Very timely, thank you. Have you researched diesel heaters? I know they use some electricity, and I'm interested in knowing your opinion. Again, thank you for taking the time to make this video. And I answered him, I said, diesel is potentially a great option, but it would involve cutting a permanent opening in my RV for the vent. So that's why I didn't really experiment with that one. Harvey Brewer, great video. And this is on the Jeep Adventure. I'm curious as to how you guys navigated the roads. Did they come up on the GPS, or are they just well known? Or do you go on a real adventure and just say, let's try this one? Daryl has a specialized app called OnX Off-Road. Comprehensive and super accurate. It's highly recommended for off-roading. It's like the Google Maps for off-roading. So Daryl's got this big screen, and so we were able to see it the whole time, and it shows all the trails, and it color codes it for the difficulty of the trail. And then you tap on it, it tells you about why it's difficult, who should go there, who should not go there, all kinds of great information. I think it costs a little something to buy it, but talk about worth it, really. Speaking of heat, it's still 35 degrees out there, and I'm getting cold. So I just reached up and adjusted the thermostat on my heater. All right. RV Life says, I'd like to know the brand of the screen that was in the Jeep. Funny you should ask. It's called Lynxwell. He says, thanks. And he says, Dottie Travels, it's pretty expensive. I'm looking for something for my RV radio screen. Well, again, RV Life, funny you should ask, because that screen convinced me, like you, I said, I wanted one too. So I bought a different brand, and I'm going to do a video on it. Daryl's going to install it for me. I don't have the skills. He does. So he's up at Havasu. He stays up at Havasu. He's renting a house. So a week from tomorrow, I'll have this thing. This is what it looks like. And it was, what he was talking about, Daryl's is like $14, $15. Daryl spent $1,500. This is on sale, Black Friday deal, $559. It's not the same brand. It's not quite as big. Mine's 12 inches. His was 15. So it was 3 inches bigger. And it was more expensive, so it's probably better. But to me, not $1,000, not at $900 better. So $559, I think it was with tax and everything. $611. Let me just check that. If you're not, this won't be accurate if you're not in where I am. But we'll view the order for having it delivered here. And it was $610.95, $610.95 with free. Well, installation is going to cost me a dinner. I'm going to have to buy Daryl dinner in Havasu. So anyway, that's that. And I'll do a video on it. I don't do sponsored videos or send me free stuff video. I'm paying for that. Not contacting the company. I'm not doing those. I'll send you free stuff and you do a video thing anymore. I just don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. And let me just state here. If someone sells me something I really, really like and need and it's super expensive, I'm going to make an exception. So let's just say that right here so you don't call me when, like Blue Eddie asked me to review a $5,000 power station. I ain't going to say no. And And believe it or not, when these people send you this stuff, they don't require you to do a good review. Some of them require to review the video, and I would never do that. I said, no, I'd be like, keep your stuff. You're not going to review my video. I'll do a video. I'll be honest, but I'm not going to. And, you know, I used to do them. I did probably a half a dozen of them. And I would always give the company the opportunity when I ran into a problem. I'd call them and say, hey, I'm doing the review. I'm doing the video. This is happening. Tell me. And sometimes they'd say, well, you misread something, or you didn't do this right, or it was an easy fix. Or sometimes they would send me a new one, and I would disclose in the video, hey, this didn't work, and they had to send me a replacement. It was in the video. I'm getting off track. Anyway, I don't do that anymore unless something really, really cool comes up, and then I'm going to make an exception. Okay. Jim, this is my friend Jim from Canada, who was in the back of doing a lot of the talking. We had a great time, Rob and Daryl. I wish I could do his voice, his Canadian voice. It's just a delightful guy. Lisa Roth, who's camping nearby. Boy, he really needs that fancy GPS not to get lost. I love the cabin and the mines. Very interesting. M. Campbell, desert is lovely when you get away from people. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, M. Campbell, people, they're the worst. That's a joke. I don't really feel that way. That's a Seinfeld thing. M. Campbell says, the one weather reporting station for Quartzsite, oh, this is a good explanation, is she gives the latitude and longitude. Physically, it's in town. Being sheltered from the wind and surrounded by buildings, I'm surprised it's not even more different than your location. Good point. Box Van D, I'm honored. I got a comment from Box Van D. She has a great YouTube channel. Check her out. She's kind of a community staple here in YouTube. In Quartzsite. So it's a big deal for somebody like that to comment on my video. I don't know her personally, but Jim really does. Jim and Daryl know her. Jim's really pretty close with her. I enjoyed the banter with all you guys, and that's why she was watching the video, because I'm sure Jim probably told her that he was in a video of mine. I enjoyed the banter with all you guys and hearing more from Jim and V. V is his new wife. And I told you she's the dance instructor in town. In the cabin and the whole ride, I never get to go four-wheeling with anyone. Well, maybe Box Van D, you know Daryl too. Maybe Daryl will take you. Speaking of Daryl, here's a comment from Daryl the Explorer. Love spending time in the outdoors. Good friends makes it even better. And I responded, I said, you got that right, buddy. Philip Williams on the comments video. Didn't get to do anything for my dad, but my mom. I talked about a positive news video I did where this man did this really generous gesture for his father. And, I was talking about how, wow, it really moved me, and it makes me feel like, I could have done more for my dad. I felt kind of bad. And Philip says, didn't get to do anything for my dad, but my mom, she never traveled much in her life. I was stationed in San Diego some time back, and also Seattle, Washington area. Had a house on Whidbey Island for 4 years. So she got to travel to San Diego and Washington State a few times and sightsee for free. In Everett, Washington, I got to give her a tour of my ship, the USS Paul F. Foster. And by the way, Philip, thanks for your service. A Spruance class destroyer that is now decommissioned. I also got to throw her a birthday party for her 80th, just like she likes it. Outside, lots of German-type food and her closest friends and family. A couple years ago, I got to make her Thanksgiving with elk being the main meat. Wow, that was unique. She said she never tried it before. She complimented me on, this is the best and most tender meat I ever ate. Though she didn't like gazpacho, which neither of us had before. I knew she was getting old, and I figured, let's do stuff she hasn't done or wanted to do instead of standard gifts like cards and money. Okay, you got me, Philip. You're getting me choked up reading the comment. You can't buy memories like those. She passed away a few years ago at the age of 89, and yeah, I would have gave her another party at 90. miss that lady. I bet you do. Good for you. Good for you, Philip. Ken Gray on the Comments Fury said, here you go. I just said, Elaine, ugh, I hate people. Jerry, yeah, they're the worst. Jerry Seinfeld. Ken Gray says, hey, Rob, for the TV, have you tried a digital antenna that can get signals up to 1,000 miles away? That's what I have. I have digital, and I don't think analog, and Ken, you would know probably better than me, but I think they stopped broadcasting analog a few years ago, and it's all digital. So built into the trailer is a digital antenna, and most places I stay, I can get a lot of channels, but right here, no bueno. And I've tried it for a couple of years. It's a really bad spot for that, I think. But I talked to plenty of other people around that say I get it fine. So it's a little bit of a mystery. So I'm not sure. And Ken says, if you really want to confuse people, ask where they put the dihydrogen oxygen detector. I'm sure he'll explain that. Dihydrogen oxygen detector. I'm sure there's a trick in there. Heating my RV. John Montalbano. John Montalbano. John Montalbano 5769. Heating my RV, and he says excellent. Took a lot longer to say his name than his comment, didn't it? And RV Living with Luck on heating the RV. First time viewer. I enjoyed all the information, but as I have a huge battery and propane supply, I'm good with my RV heater. Plus a 0-degree sleeping bag makes nights nice with no extra heating required. This is precisely what I mean. Guy enjoyed what I did. Didn't take it as me telling him what to do. And he said, I enjoyed the info. This is what I do. A little different. Different situation. Very nice. Sure to rain. Sure to rain. And the picture on the profile is Alfred E. Newman. This is going to be a funny person. Just stumbled on your channel and enjoying your videos. Planning on making my first video at Quartzsite towards the end of January, and then have reservations at an RV resort in Yuma for February. Plans are to arrive at the beginning of January, but life got in the way. Also called several of the campgrounds in the queue, and all were booked for January. Yeah, that's an artifact of the Big Tent. The Big Tent show. That's where the RTR, and then back to the Big Tent and the Rock and Gems show. It's all going on in January here. It's the big month. Thought we'd spend a week or two at BLM and then at a campground at Quartzsite. Yeah, I mean, you can get 1 or 2 nights here and there in January, and there are also cancellations that happen. So if you're willing to bounce back and forth between BLM land, which is, you can get free land, BLM land, within just a few miles of town. You can do that. Your videos provide very good info on Quartzsite that a newbie needs to know. And we have OWK000. Camping off-grid, you are more at the mercy of natural sunlight hours, so going to bed and getting up with the sun is natural. Also, exercising and exposing yourself to daylight sunlight helps hormonally, biochemically achieve good sleep. I think it does it does additional good things too. It's good for your mental health. It's good for vitamin E levels to get out in the sun every day. And I think that's a really insightful comment. Marcelone, is that Mark Eloni? It's Marcelolney. It's hard to say where the first name ends and the last name begins. Marcel only, maybe. I'm going to go with Marcel as his first name, only as the last name. How's that? Herbie, who's near camp near me, said today's met you, and yes, that the same man as your channel. Very nice compliment. I thought, yeah, sure. If you like what you see in the channel, it's a compliment. I guess the opposite could be true. Is that this guy's the same jerk he is on the videos. Okay, Pat Mullen. Thanks for bringing up the heater warranty and having a store so close by that can repair them. I did not think of that. Very valuable information to have. Yeah, it ended up being really valuable for me because I had the Camco Wave 6 and it broke. And there are no authorized repair places. And like the RV Lifestyle says, they'd repair them, but they can't, you can't get parts. They won't sell parts to anyone. So to exercise your warranty, you have to mail it. And I think it was back east. I had to mail it to it. And they sent me a new one back, but I was without a heater for a week or so. I mean, they were responsive. But the Empire heater, like the one making me toasty right now, they can repair them right there in RV Lifestyles. So that's was a big selling point for me. Pete Diaz. Hey, Pete, on the Jeep Adventure. Loved it. Great ride along. Don't want to break down out there. Nope. But there was cell signal and other people, so it wouldn't have been a complete disaster. Zig. Hey, Zigzag. I got to talk to, this was on a little bonus video I threw out there. Every once in a while I'll do it. Like this one, we decided, hey, let's get pizza. And I went into town to get pizza, so I did a video on it. Easy. So it was a bonus. I got to talk to a gentleman that has been visiting Quartzsite for 51 years. Quartzsite has an awesome history. It used to be a bigger deal than it is now. Quartzsite has a lot of different things in its history, and I think it was a different deal in the past. I don't know about bigger, but definitely different. The High Jolly story of the guy that had was training and using camels in an experimental thing for the U.S. Army in World War II that eventually, at least after he died, became a icon and hero of Quartzsite. There's lots of good history here. Ken Gray says, nice short on pizza. Pizza looks good too. It was Outback Pizza in Quartzsite, and it was really good pizza. Spider says, the Oasis bookstore's former deceased husband was the showman that used to bicycle around town wearing nothing but a sock on his privates. I just missed him. I think he was still around the first year I was here in what year was the pandemic? 21? 20? 2020. I was here in January 2020, and I think he was still around, but I didn't see him. But sadly, he passed. Pup Camper, that's my friend Cheryl. And on the pizza thing, she said it was delicious because she ate some. Debbie, that was fun. Enjoy your celebration. Hey, yeah. And we were buying pizza to celebrate Lisa getting into camp from her run from the East Coast. Long drive. TJ Hausman, damn, that pizza and bread sticks look yummy. It was all yummy and worth every penny. I think I said that I think the pizza was $24 and $6, I think, for the breadsticks, and with tax it was $33, and I gave like a $7 tip, so it was $40. But I mentioned the 33, and somebody made a nasty comment about that. It's a giant pizza for $24. Am I wrong, or is that seems in line with, it's not Domino's. I think, okay, let's just, I had to delete it. It was kind of a nasty comment, so I deleted it. So Domino's, because Domino's would be the cheapest, right? Chain wise. Pizza prices. Let's see what a giant Domino's fully loaded pizza is. Browse our menu. Domino's is coming up. Delivery. House. Oh, it's making me put in everything. I just want to see the menu. How about carry out? There's one in Blythe. So let's look at the Blythe. today at 11 a.m. Okay. Store pickup. Menu. Boy, they make you work for it. How about a specialty pizza? Let's get as close as we can to what we bought. How about we call it deluxe? And the size is large. No, I don't want black olives. How much is it? Give me a price somewhere. $23.99. So that's in Blythe, California. $23.99. Check and see what it is in your town. But I didn't think it was going to be that far off. You know, it frustrates me when the rumors fly about Quartzsite businesses gouging us and they're screwing us and they're overcharging us. And there are always exceptions. I get it. But they're not. They're not. It's so frustrating. Making the rounds in Quartzsite. Scott Van Artstelen. Scott Van Artstelen says Chester's is a chicken joint. And why does he say that? Because I was driving around and I went by the Loves and I said there's a Taco Bell there, but there's also some place called Chester's. I don't know what that is. Now I do. It's a chicken place. And I told that to Cheryl, and Cheryl said, hey, Chester's has some kick-ass chicken. You should try it. It's hard to beat the chicken, though. The fried chicken at Coyote Fresh Market. Check it out. Coyote Fresh Market also they make breakfast and dinner and lunch hot meals for reasonable prices. It's good stuff. So Gene Spell, radiant gas heaters. This is on heating my RV. Radiant gas heaters burn gas more efficiently than a blue flame gas heater. I believe the radiant gas heaters are about 40% more efficient. In order to ensure propane doesn't leak inside your domicile, house, trailer, etc., drill a couple holes in the floor where the base of the tank will sit. Make a box out of 1/4-inch plywood. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he goes into detail. And again, this is a guy that apparently enjoyed my video, had some, I'm not going to say different opinions, but other opinions. And he realized I wasn't like telling him or anybody else what to do. So he laid out in detail how he does it. And can I read my favorite sentence from his it's pretty long. So I'm already at 32 minutes, but, I always recommend buying a residential radiant heater like this young man bought. Called me a young man. I like it. I am a young man. Don't doubt me. Box Fan D, another second one. Awesome. You're doing a great job on your channel. And I said, thank you. High praise coming from you, Box Fan D. Thomas on making the rounds in Quartzsite. Thomas says 5426 ? What does that mean? I know what it means. I'm always kidding that I have a keyless entry. You know, often on film it'll show me using my keyless entry to get my truck, and people will go, "Oh, don't do that. People will break into your truck." And I always say the same thing. I said, "Okay, if you think from that video you can tell you think you know my code, go ahead and put it in the comments. If you get it right, I'll change my code." No one's ever gotten it right. And so he was trying 5426. And it is a 4-digit code. None of those numbers are right. See, it looks like you can see, but you can't really see what my fingers are doing on film. You just can't. Maybe someone can. And they'll post it and I'll change my code, or they'll come steal my truck. One or the other. Phillips Temper. It's Phillips Stemper, but it looks like Phillips Temper. Is it? I cannot be the first one to see that, because it's all running together. Philip's temper. Thanks for the video. I like your videos, but they're a little too much. Maybe one a week or something. Maybe 2 weeks. Someday I'm going to come to Quartzsite. I'm actually coming there in February in 2025. Maybe I get to see you and say hi to you, love you, stay safe and enjoy. And I just said, I like the way I do my channel. That's all I could think of to say. And affectionate Aardvark said, amen, brother. And it's like, was that a mean comment? It was critical, yeah, but it wasn't mean. He said, I love you and stay safe and enjoy. How can you delete that comment? So he's got an opinion that I should be doing something different. And I don't agree. But someone did it and said, you should really do the weather. And do you like being told what to do? I usually don't. But I always stop and think and go, I'm annoyed. So let's take that, put it aside for a minute and think, do they have a point? And the weather person did. So I'm doing the weather now because I listened. And people enjoy it. And a lot of people come back and said, thanks for doing that. I like that. So the cold is just coming through this window. The sun is coming up, but no solar yet. We're still at 0 watts. You know, since I've been turning off my Starlink and my inverter at night when I'm sleeping because I don't really need it. And, you know, all the stuff with my inverter running and the Starlink was over 100 watts. And it was burning up a ton of battery overnight for no reason. So I'm up this morning. We're about to start getting solar, and I'm at 89%. 89% battery. Amazing. I got distracted again, didn't I? Thoughty? I got distracted again. See, she cares. So anyway, this is an example of something I because somebody suggests that I'm doing 3, sometimes 4 videos a day and I'm having a blast. I'm not going to stop doing it because someone feels it's too many. I mean, it's like, I don't know, maybe there's a sense he likes the channel so he feels like he's got to watch them all, but it's overwhelming. You don't have to watch them all. Like the positive new videos, that's one you can just don't watch it at all. It's got nothing to do with RV life or Quartzsite. It's totally separate. Less than 100 people usually watch them a day anyway. I'm mostly doing for myself. So that leads it to 1 long form a day, and every once in a while I'll throw a bonus in there or a short or something. It's not that much. It's going to be okay. You can survive it. Philip Williams. Now I know why I just ordered pizza tonight, because he saw my video on getting pizza, and I did a nice high definition shot of the pizza and the breadsticks. George Hatton says, good video. I love seeing your cat. My 3 have passed away. Oh, I'm sorry, George. I miss them. I bet you do. And that was just a bonus video, random bonus video I did last week. Naj on comments. Hi, Rob, Dottie, and George. Yes, I would try camel burger. Sounds yummy. I've tried. I don't think I mentioned in the video where I did this Scooters, the new restaurant that has camel burgers, is kind of a gimmick because they're so expensive. It was like $20 a burger. And that's a deal, because if you look online on how much camel meat is, if you want to order it from a supplier just for you, it's $17 a pound. All right, so, but it's the only camel burger I'm going to have, but it was great. It was really good. I've tried buffalo, elk, deer, gator, horse, shark, and they're all yummy. My favorite is horse, probably because it reminds me of my grandma. She was from Spain, and she said it was common there, and she used to prepare it for me often. She said it was not the kind of horse you ride. It was a special raised for food. Yummy, yummy. This part of the channel is not recommended for vegetarians. Tommy, Dottie is so well behaved. Yes, she is. Aren't you, Dottie? I got another comment from Box Van D. Another one. I really like the new DG Market. They have pretty much everything. The freezer section is pretty good. I don't have to drive to Walmart and Parker as often as I did. The bookstore was owned by a free spirit, liked wearing no clothes. The best way to say it here. He passed away a little more than a year ago. Yes, it was there for many years. As I drove out, I saw the bookstore and I remarked on it. So she's explaining the history on that bookstore. And I got a couple of nasty comments on the DG Market, people that just don't like it and expressed their dislike of the business. And they got zapped because I'm not a review channel. If you want to see positive and negative reviews on a business, go to Google or something. It's not here. If I don't have anything good to say, I'm either not going to say anything at all, or maybe if I go into a business and I do a video and it's horrible, then you'll never see the video. It's just not a good video for me to do. It's not positive. Reverend Thomas Troxel, new subscriber. Enjoy your videos. My wife and I plan on going full-time next year. And I said, that's great. And it is great. And TM Tex, out of curiosity, what did you do before you retired? Well, I said, licensed professional counselor, earlier paramedic, even earlier finance executive. That pretty much covers everything. New to your channel, sir. What sort of rig are you running? Looks like a motorhome. Nope. It's a small travel trailer, a 2021 Winnebago Micro Mini 2100 BH. And Naj says, wow, you guys had fun. I'd love the desert tour. The little abandoned cabin, cute. It's cool. And it had a sign-in book. Big hugs to Dottie and George. And Affectionate Aardvark. I love that name, Affectionate Aardvark. Perhaps you would do me a favor. I'm wondering if there's a church in Quartzsite that has good faith music, guitars and drums and all that. Maybe do me a favor and ask around if you don't know. Either way, thanks for your time. And my answer to that was, and this is for a lot of topics in Quartzsite that I don't know anything about, there's a Facebook group called Quartzsite Chatter. Great community resource that will have what you're looking for. You go out there and say, hey, post what you posted here. I'm looking for a church with music and guitars and all that. And you will get tons of information almost immediately. Joseph says, you're absolutely living the dream. Yeah. And Anna's Adventures. If I make it there, I definitely want to try one. I read that they are healthier than red meat. She's talking about camel burgers at the new restaurant. The video on the new restaurant, Scooters. Debbie, love being outdoors in a Jeep. Makes it extra fun. Loved all the gold mining places and that little cabin you said was the honeymoon cabin. It was cute. It's not really a honeymoon cabin, but the couple with us, Jim and V, had just gotten married, and I was teasing them. I said, this was your honeymoon cabin, wasn't it? It's like 3 walls, and it's made of stone. I was joking. Heating my RV. Lif and Eth. Look for a 12-volt mattress heater, not an electric blanket. The mattress heater is built stronger to go under your mattress or topper. Since the heat all starts under you, you get much warmer than an electric blanket, which wastes power, heating the air, often used in sleeper cab trucks. Again, this is a good one who apparently enjoyed my video, listened to how I did things, and they said, hey, here's how I do things. Valuable information. I didn't know those things existed. I have a 12-volt electric blanket, but I didn't know they make pads that are 12-volt. Renee says, this was a sweet idea to do pizza for Lisa. Yeah. Let's refresh, because I bet there are a couple more. That was 21. That was a while ago. All right. That was a sweet idea. Oh, there's one more. It's G from G with RVing with G. He says, howdy, neighbor. It's G. I'm 273 yards to your left, waving good morning. Yeah, that's G. I subscribe to his channel, RVing with G. I suggest you do too. Good guy. I met him last year. So that was 4 minutes ago. And he probably sees me in here doing the, he can see through the window with my light on here that I'm sitting here, and he's probably guessing I'm doing this video. That's funny. But that is the last comment of the day. We're at 45 minutes, and we got a big day ahead of us because I got to work most of the day. It's Friday. It's Friday, Rob's work day. So I will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you.